Yeah, so what stood out to you about Beverly Hills and how this was told?
I really appreciate that the ashes of legendary American choreographer Merce Cunningham have become like a prop for one of those silly, like, tell us something that you're thinking about games. And also, a Big Lebowski style punchline about the ashes blowing back in people's faces.
Throw it out there,
Okay,
though.
do it.
All right,
Hannah, sit back.
Don't fall, please. Oh my God. Oh golly. Oh, I'm sorry. The wind is blowing that way. Sorry, girls.
It's all over Garcelle's back.
It was like Chekhov's gun. As soon as the ashes were introduced.
Yeah, just really funny. It'd be funny anyways, but the fact that it's like the ashes of like the Leonard Bernstein of dance being used as for this series of gags is beautiful, classic Beverly Hills stuff. Just another great contribution to the culture from Merce.
Yeah. Anything else in particular about the storytelling here?
About the storytelling, I mean. Yeah, I like that as a fulcrum a lot. I do find it, it's funny to laugh about because it's just goofy. But I do also find it interesting to have Sutton like just kind of mourning everything at once and just kind of having a bad time and deciding that this is her vehicle that she's going to use to kind of get these emotions out. That's not a bad little bit of emotion going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, what did you find most interesting?
Yeah, I think that this scene was really great because, like you said, it did have this really goofy element, but it was also clearly the emotional center of this episode. I thought that the letting go ceremony was like a good like mix of genuine emotion, and also, in the case of Annemarie, it was just like trying to say whatever. She didn't really say anything, and then Erika using it as like an opportunity to like try to get a dig in.
I'm here to let this go in representation of all the hurt the last 2.5 years that I feel many of you have contributed to.
God bless Erika Jane. Like, I love that she steps up to the fucking plate and she's like, for me, these white flowers represent fuck all of you.
Yeah. it really, like, she used it like a housewife would use one of those games they play at the dinner table in order to like air a beef, and she saw like this everyone pouring out their emotion and like really not the moment to like have a big fuck you, but she used it as that, and it was pretty brilliant. And the storytelling piece about that scene that I really liked was the fact that as soon as she like took that moment that was everyone else's, it was this beautiful group emotional moment, she took that and made it hers. And after that, we got a little like insert shot at the end of the scene of all the things that they were throwing away into the ocean and letting go just floating on the top of the ocean, or on the top of the sea, and kind of alluding to the fact that these things are still sticking around, and
the waves are just pushing them back
unresolved.
The waves are just pushing them back to shore. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, totally. What other highlights did you have here?
There were some good like supporting characters showing up. I enjoyed Trevor, Sutton's friend, the towering mustachioed queer who, like, when they're driving in the van, is just being like, oh, there's a wonderful gay bar over there where it's like in a cave and you have to swim out to it. It really reminded me of, do you remember those like Bill Hader sketches on SNL where he'd play Stefan?
Oh,
we talked about it like Weekend Update. It's just exactly the kind of things like Stefan would say, you know, like the hottest club in New York is called Cave. It's that thing where you're in a cave and you have to swim to get there.
Yeah.
So it was a good character. Manolo was a really good one too, a really good supporting character who shows up and plays flamenco guitar very enthusiastically and claims he wrote a song for everyone. We could have used some more Manolo too.
Yeah, totally.
But if I'm being real, like I've got my pad of notes I took on the episode, and it's almost 100% just me writing down every single thing that Erika says, because I just find her so fucking funny, and I thought she was just so on fire in this episode, and was just killing it for me. Like when she describes the ashes being blown back into her face, and she says, "I don't know this man. I don't want to taste this man." It's so good.
So good.
Yeah. And I was a little Krabby Patties about it. just like, yeah. And sometimes I love how she's like, sometimes watching Erika Jayne is like watching like a 60s interview with like Bob Dylan or Marlon Brando or something. Just that kind of like overconfidence and just making completely like cryptic remarks with a stone face that are like just total like impenetrable non sequiturs. Like when Sutton starts saying like, "So maybe we're not Erika Jayne," and Erika says, "Yes, you are." What does she mean by that?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
You'll never know. You'll never know what she meant by that. Never. Yeah, and she's just so fucking evil too. It's great. She's such an evil queen when they're all talking about like, you know, potentially marrying somebody, and she's just says with, you know, again, her stone face and apparent seriousness, "Why don't you just fuck him up and leave him with all your problems?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just amazed by everything coming out of her mouth. That was mostly what I took away from this episode.
Yeah, I love Erika's like continued like insistence on trying to win this apology out of everyone. Like she is so determined to get it out of everyone, and she gets just like a glimmer of it out of Crystal, and she like latches on. She's like, "Oh, that's way better than the other women." So
yeah,
I appreciate that this is like her main focus, and she's just like singularly focused on getting this apology.
The only thing she's thinking about is like who's gonna say "I'm sorry" to me, and like you say, literally nothing else in her peripheral vision. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Did you have any other highlights from Beverly Hills?
No, not really. I think I do. Okay, one more thing. Sorry. Why is Sutton so convinced, do you think, that like having a horse is like gonna give her a new sense of identity? Why is she so fixated on that being like the thing that's gonna fix her? Like there's literally a point where somebody says like, "Who are you?" and she says, "I'm a woman with a horse."
Stronger than you think. You've gotten so much stronger since
I know it's crazy.
Since we met. Like, who the hell are you?
I'm a woman with a frickin' horse.
Which seems to have been like a theme from the very first episode of the season. Like, what does this horse mean to her? That like dealing with all this loss, she's like, this is the purchase that's going to like give my life meaning.
Yeah, I have no idea what the like fixation is on that, but it's a good opportunity. If you are a horse girl, let us know in the comments what Sutton is talking about.
Yeah, because I don't own a horse, so maybe I'll never know. Maybe I'll never be able to experience that. Maybe that is what I'm missing in my life. Maybe that does fix everything.
There you go. You can be singularly focused on getting a horse too. I think that we've covered most of what I wanted to talk about in Beverly Hills as well. I think like I don't know what I feel about Kyle's journey at this point. I just am not really buying into this dynamic that they're teasing between her and Mo. It feels like it's almost being oversold. I'm curious what you think about
that. They seem to be trying to make that a theme more in the edit than it is in the actual episode, because Kyle's like not saying very much about it, I think, with her friends. You know, they'll ask the occasional question about it, but like, you know, when they did the ritual of the ashes, she didn't mention anything about Mo.
Exactly.
though they did include like a clip of a confessional of her being like, oh, maybe I was kind of thinking about Mo at that moment, but that's not what she said. So I almost feel like the show is trying to make that a storyline more than it organically is in the conversations that she's having with everyone else.
Yeah. What are you thinking about Kyle in relation to this like season as a whole?
I want to see more before the season ends of Kyle and Morgan. That interests me a lot. And the dissolution of her and Mo is something that I thought maybe we would see like more happening in front of us than we have maybe. I would. I feel like maybe more of that's going on behind the cameras and in front of it than I would like for it to like, you know, be a really compelling storyline.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I feel like if this is actually the time where there's a legitimate like breakdown in their marriage and she is, you know, moving on with Morgan, I really would like to see more of that storyline, because I feel like what we're getting out of Kyle is not compelling, and she's really feeling like she's doing a lot of self-producing, which is I think that there's a way that you can self-produce well. You can be like one of these personalities that produces well and one that doesn't. And I think like the difference is if you are trying to like self-produce in order to control your image, and if you've got your actual like personality so tied to the character that you're presenting on screen that you're trying to like control every element of it, that is not that fun, and that's what it feels like with Kyle. I would be like totally open to seeing her like take a break for a season or two and like bring back someone like Lisa Vanderpump, who I think also is very like is a producer, but I think she was one of the best people that at being that producer type on-screen persona, because the way that she did it, like she was producing things external to herself. She did do like manage her self-image. All of them do that. But I feel like Lisa Vanderpump, the way that she like manipulated situations and use other people to do her bidding without getting her like her hands dirty. I love that type of like housewife gameplay, and I would really like to see that element of agitation come back to this group, because it does, I feel like it's getting maybe a little stagnant.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we love to see we love an OG, and it's nice to have like one of those veterans who's been around forever. But the downside of that is that when they've become so experienced and so practiced and so used to it, if they don't want you to know about something in their life, they know how to kind of to bury the lead a bit, and I feel like we're kind of seeing that with Kyle, and that she might be going through like a fascinating personal transformation that if she doesn't want that to be a focus of the episode, she knows how to make sure it isn't.
Yeah, and I think the difference is like, I mean, I talked a little bit about Lisa Vanderpump doing this. Another person that was really great at doing this was Lisa Rinna, and she was like managing her own image, but she did create a separation between like Lisa Rinna the person and Lisa Rinna the character on this show. And she was really good at producing Lisa Rinna the character on this show. And I feel like the fact that Lisa Rinna came in like, and right out of the gates, she was Lisa Rinna, the character. She was the shitster, the villain. Like, she was playing this character from the very beginning. But Kyle, we have seen Kyle present herself as like this authentic like person on camera. And in the middle of the off season between shooting the last season of Beverly Hills and this season, it feels like she flipped a switch, and now we're getting Kyle the character. Like, all of a sudden she's like, oh, I don't drink anymore. By the way, I don't even drink soda anymore. And is just like putting this like really controlled version of herself out that, you know, at this point where it's a very like pivotal moment for like Kyle the person's character arc. It's really disappointing that we're seeing, that kind of tempered back and throttled. I'm hoping that there's more to come on this in the rest of the season, but it is leaving me with a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Tastes like Merce. I think we covered about everything that I wanted to cover. Let's quickly give our picks for who our stars are. Who are your stars?
No surprise, my number one is Erika.
Yeah.
Just what a lovely human being. Let's give Sutton the number two. It's her episode in a lot of ways, so sure, let's give her that. And number three, Merce Cunningham. You'll be missed. Craig, throw up a little montage of Merce Cunningham's best moments here with some sad music.
We'll dedicate this episode to him.
I want to release these ashes in a significant place and make this a really meaningful trip. Will he fit in this little container?
Well, if we dump the ashes in there.
I know you love Merce, but Merce was in a Ziploc bag. Merce is in the purse.
Okay, do it. All right, one step back. Don't fall, please. Oh my God. Oh, golly. Oh, God, sorry. The wind is blowing that way. Sorry, girls.
It's all over Garcelle's back.
Yeah, I think my number one pick is going to be Sutton. I just find her like a really endearing character. She's likable. She gives us a lot of like emotional highs and lows, and just really interesting to watch. And her being at the crux of the emotional center of this episode, I got to give it the number one to her. I think you're right. Erika had a great episode. She's really showing why she is just such a great housewife, because even from like her position at the bottom of the ladder here, she's still able to act as though she's at the top and look down on people and try to command things that she's got no right to command. So I love Erika's journey right now, and we get to see based on the pieces of Erika that got stripped away by her downfall, what remains is like still a very like compelling housewife persona. So love that. And then I think that number three, I like Crystal this season, so I'm going to give her the third star, even though I don't think like she had a huge impact this season. I think that, or this episode, I think that, her letting go, I feel like that was her like giving us like authentic emotion. And I am appreciating this journey that she's on, and that she's like fully giving us the authenticity that we're not getting out of Kyle right now. Or maybe I should give a star to Dorit's Spanish, ordering her Coca-Cola Normal or whatever.
Yeah, Coca-Cola Normale. To just
gotta
specify. Yeah.